Hi, and welcome to The Right Hook. I'm Susan T., and together we'll be exploring easy but effective techniques you can use to make your writing stand out. There'll also be an opportunity at the end of the video to try out your skills and what we covered. So let's get started. Knock out your interviewers with a strong, well-crafted thank you email. If you're ever wondering if you should express appreciation for something someone did for you, go with your gut and send a word of thanks. It shows that you don't take people or the chances that they offer you for granted. This is especially true when you've taken up someone's time with a job interview. You may meet a lot of people along the way as you work your way through the interview process. They could include the recruiter who reached out to you, the HR coordinator who did the initial screening, the hiring manager you may be working for, and peer interviewers who speak with job candidates and then offer the manager their feedback. Each person deserves a brief email after you've met with them, regardless of whether it was over Zoom or in person. But don't dash off a generic message of thanks. Treat it as a chance to transform a routine follow-up into a memorable relationship-building touchpoint that keeps you top of mind with the employer. A thoughtful email after an interview helps to solidify your position as a worthy candidate for the job you're after. It signals that you're aware that time and effort was spent on you and that you're likely to apply the same consideration when you interact with clients and colleagues wherever you work. The post-interview thank you also demonstrates attention to detail. Did you get the interviewer's name right, such as Sarah with an H or without an H? Did you reference the job title correctly, or did you flub it, such as referring to the advertised position as Digital Content Manager instead of Digital Workplace Content Manager? Was your email absolutely free from typos and mistakes? And if your email contains hyperlinks, do they work and do they send the reader to the right place? So you can test this by sending the email to yourself and then opening the link there to see if it works properly. Keep in mind that the email is a mini test of your communication skills, how you express yourself, and how you organize your thoughts. You're showing how you write, how you structure your ideas, and how you tailor communications, all in a tight, elegant package of a thank you. A carefully composed email is especially important if the job you're applying for has responsibilities for creating messages for internal or external audiences. Finally, your follow-up email keeps the door open with the employer. Even if the role wasn't a perfect match, it's still professional to send a thank you email. It paves the way for future opportunities at the company where you interviewed, and it may even spark a referral to another employer where the hiring manager has connections. So keep in mind that your thank you email is really a workhorse that should be created around three main objectives. First and foremost, and I cannot stress this enough, use the email to show that you can add value to the position. Be sure to include one sharp, relevant example to how you would make a contribution to your role. Or highlight an experience that relates to something you learned during the interview. Or maybe research a solution to a challenge that the hiring manager shared during your conversation, and mention what you learned in your email. It makes it clear that not only were you listening closely, but you're already thinking like an employee. Here's an example of a value-add statement for the email. You can see how the job applicant has pointed to a concrete example of their unique value to a company if they should be hired. Frame your example as a way of relating to the employer and resist the urge to tell them what they could have done better. If you choose your value-add statement wisely and give it some context, the hiring manager will come to the conclusion on their own that you're a smart cookie and you have common sense. Second, use your post-interview message to flesh out something you forgot to say during the interview, or to clear up any potential questions from the interviewer about your resume. Briefly fill in the blanks and don't over-explain. For example, you could use your follow-up email to explain why you were at a job for a very short time. Make the explanation concise. Finally, close your email with momentum. Express your readiness to continue the conversation by offering to provide more information, if needed, or answer any questions. And express excitement for next steps. You know, hiring managers don't know if you still want the job after the interview. An email signaling your enthusiasm settles the question. Here's an example of one way you could bring your email to a close. It lets the hiring manager know that you're eager to move forward with the job, and that's what you want. Keep in mind that personalization is powerful. Send individual emails, not one email, to all your employers at a company. A group email could undermine your sincerity. If you were in a panel interview, reference something specific from your conversation with each person to show that you were genuinely engaged. When you send emails to several people at the same company where you interviewed, it's okay if the first and last sentences of the message are the same. Just try to find something unique to say to each interviewer. Be sure to send your emails in the window between a couple of hours and 24 hours after the interview, even if the interview was right before a weekend or a holiday. Waiting longer could imply that you're not genuinely interested in the job, or even worse, that you procrastinate, which could raise a red flag. If you don't know the email address for anyone you met with, don't give up. Ask the HR coordinator if they would share addresses with you, or try to figure out the address using the format of the emails you already have. For example, if the HR coordinator's email is dshera@xyz.com, and you spoke with someone named Jermaine Lennox at the company, their email address is probably going to be their first initial and full last name, such as jlennox@xyz.com. And remember that you can also try reaching out to someone through their LinkedIn profile. Yeah, I know that writing a post-interview email takes a lot of time and effort, but you know what? It's worth it, because you have plenty to lose if you skip the email. It puts you at risk of being perceived as someone who's not seriously pursuing the job. It deprives you of a chance to reinforce your brand through that crucial statement relating your experience to the job. And if an employer is on the fence between you and another candidate, and your rival sends that thank you email, it could put them in a more favorable light and tip the balance in their favor. So let's go over what we covered in this session. Post-interview thank you emails serve a powerful purpose. They close the loop on the interview, and they display your attention to detail. They're an example of your communication skills, and they can keep the door open to other opportunities through the employer. How you structure the email is critical to achieving its targeted effect. Start by thanking the interview for taking the time to meet with you. Show that you can add value to the role by relating a piece of information from your skills, experience, background, or research. Use the email to fix interview flubs or to clear up questions about your resume. And finally, end with an offer to provide more information, to answer questions, and most importantly, to express your enthusiasm for the job. So let's give it a try. Read the scenario and then pause the video. Ask yourself, with this information, what could you say in your thank you email? Your follow-up might read something like this. Notice the mention of the 18% increase in customer satisfaction scores. Including hard numbers in your statement helps to ground your results and make them measurable, which is what employers love to see. Give it another try. Read the scenario. Then pause the video and ask yourself how you might write the post-interview thank you. It could read something like this. You'll notice that this email is a little bit more wordy than other examples I showed you, but it's worth it because it needs to get across an important point about how Ronnie, the job applicant, was able to introduce a solution at his last company. Okay, you've got this. Keep the post-interview thank you email on your radar as you network with people and interview for your ideal job. Each of them deserves a follow-up, and you would be amazed at how far it goes. Most of all, I wish you good luck. If you want to share comments, questions, or even writing samples, contact me at therighthook123@gmail. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you at my next video.